I met Bridget 8 years ago. She was full of life, radiant, and had this way of making everything feel exciting. When we first got together, I genuinely believed she was the one. We were married for 5 years, and in the beginning, everything seemed perfect. We laughed, traveled, and made plans for our future. I worked hard, and she enjoyed the comfortable lifestyle I provided. I didn't mind. It made me happy to see her happy. But somewhere along the way, things began to change. I couldn't pinpoint exactly when it started, but I noticed a shift. She started going out all the time, spending money like it was unlimited, and barely spent any time with me. At first, I tried to ignore it. I told myself maybe she just needed space. Maybe she was stressed. Maybe things would get better. But they didn't. They got worse. I'd wake up in the middle of the night and find her side of the bed empty. She'd come home at ridiculous hours, reeking of alcohol and perfume that wasn't hers. Our bank account was draining quickly. Expensive dinners, weekend trips, new clothes. But whenever I asked her about it, she always had an excuse. Oh, it was a girls' night. Just some retail therapy. Stop being so paranoid. I wanted to believe her, but deep down, I knew something wasn't right. Then one night, she came home at nearly 2 a.m, giggling on the phone as she stepped inside. When she saw me sitting on the couch, her expression shifted to one of annoyance. What? She tossed her purse down. I stood up, determined to confront her. Bridget, we need to talk. She rolled her eyes. About what? I took a deep breath. You're never home. You're always out spending money like crazy. And when you were here, you barely talked to me. What's going on? Her face didn't change. If anything, she seemed bored. Nothing's going on. I'm just enjoying my life. Since when is that a crime? I scoffed. Enjoying your life? Are you even aware we're married? Because it sure doesn't feel like it anymore. She laughed, shaking her head. Oh, please. You're so dramatic. This isn't drama, Bridget. This is real. You're acting like you don't even care about this marriage. She exhaled sharply. That's not true, she snapped. But I'm tired of you always trying to control me. And then she said it. I'm not afraid to replace you. Her words hit me like a slap. For a moment, everything went still. I stared at her, my heart pounding in my chest, but my face stayed calm. What did you just say? She met my gaze without flinching. You heard me. A cold chill ran down my spine. Replace me? What the hell did that mean? For the first time, I felt certain she wasn't just acting different. She was different. We continued to argue, but my mind was racing. That one sentence kept replaying in my head. Something was wrong, and I was going to find out what. She grabbed her purse and stormed out, slamming the door behind her. But this time, I didn't feel angry or hurt. I felt focused. I started paying closer attention, watching her more carefully. I checked our bank statements. Expensive dinners at places we'd never gone together, hotel charges, late-night Uber rides. Nothing added up. Then one evening, I came home earlier than usual. I set my keys down and was about to call out to her when I heard her voice. Soft, flirty, not meant for me. I froze. I know, baby, she was saying. I miss you, too. I hate sneaking around like this. My stomach twisted. I stepped forward, but my phone rang. As I looked down at the screen, Bridget spun around so fast. It was like she had seen a ghost. Her face went pale, and she fumbled with her phone. I'll talk to you later, she said quickly. Hanging up. Who was that? I asked, my voice calm but firm. She laughed nervously. Oh, just Melissa. Melissa? The same friend she barely even talked to anymore. I didn't believe her for a second, but I didn't press her. Not yet. She smiled tightly, grabbed her purse, and left. That was it. That was the moment I knew Bridget was cheating on me that night. I waited until she fell asleep, then took her phone. I wasn't the jealous type, but after what I'd heard, I had to know for sure. I went through her messages, her Instagram, WhatsApp, and emails, but there was nothing. Either she had erased everything, or she was using another phone. I clenched my jaw. She was being careful. Too careful. If she thought she could hide this from me forever, she was wrong. The next morning, I called a private investigator. His name was Daniel, and we met at a quiet cafe across town. He was in his 50s, sharp-eyed, with a no-nonsense attitude. I told him everything. Her late nights, her reckless spending, the phone call, and how she had erased all traces of anything suspicious. He nodded and jotted down notes. Sounds like she's definitely up to something. Can you find out for sure? I asked. He smirked. That's what I do. I hired him on the spot. A few days later, Daniel called me. Richard, we need to meet. When I entered his office, I saw them immediately. Photos of Bridget with another man. The man was tall, dark-haired, and wore a smug look on his face. In one photo, he had his arm around her in a dimly lit bar. In another, they were at a restaurant, her hand resting on his. And in the worst one, Bridget, standing outside his house, kissing him before they walked inside together. I stood frozen, staring at the photos. For a moment, I felt nothing. And then, like a flood, the emotions hit me all at once. Anger, disgust, humiliation. I had suspected it. Deep down, I had known. But seeing it with my own eyes was something else entirely. Daniel cleared his throat. His name is Mike. I tailed him for 3 days. It's not just a fling. She's practically living a double life. I clenched my fists. I see that. Daniel gave me a look, as if asking what I planned to do next. I grabbed the folder with the photos, took a deep breath, and said, I'm going to handle this the right way. The next morning, I woke up before Bridget. She was still curled up under the covers like nothing had happened, like she hadn't been hiding things from me. I stood there for a moment, disgusted by her, but didn't say a word. I just got dressed and left the house. I headed straight to a lawyer's office. No hesitation, no second guessing. The lawyer was a sharp, professional man who listened intently as I laid everything out, how she'd been distant, how she was draining our bank account, and most importantly, how she'd been seeing another man. He leaned back in his chair and nodded. Do you have proof? He asked. I pulled out the folder with the photos. Perfect, he said. This will make things much easier for you. That was exactly what I needed to hear. I told him I wanted the divorce to be quick. No drama, no drawn-out fights. I wanted her to walk away with nothing. You came to the right guy, he smirked. I signed the paperwork, shook his hand, and walked out feeling a little lighter. That night, I acted like nothing had changed. When Bridget came home, I greeted her with a smile and even asked how her day went. She barely responded, too focused on texting someone. Probably him. Good. Let her think she was getting away with it. Over the next few days, I played the part of the oblivious husband. I made her coffee in the mornings, suggested watching a movie together, and complimented her outfits. She ate it all up, completely unaware that I was preparing to turn her world upside down. 3 days later, the papers were ready. I picked them up in the lawyer's office and sat in my car, staring at the thick stack of documents. This was it, the final step. I called my best friend Joseph and asked him to meet me at a cafe. When he arrived, I didn't waste any time. I told him everything, how Bridget had been acting, how she was spending money recklessly, and how she'd been seeing someone else. Joseph listened quietly, his expression serious. And once I finished, I asked him for a favor. I needed him to serve the divorce papers to Bridget. I wanted it to be a surprise. After a moment of hesitation, he agreed. He understood what I was asking, and despite the weight of it, he was ready to help. It was a quiet afternoon when Bridget and I were sitting in the living room. She was on her phone, probably texting her boyfriend. I was pretending to watch TV when there was a knock at the door. I opened it to find Joseph, standing there holding a folder. Without saying a word, he handed it to Bridget and nodded before walking away. Confused, she opened the folder, her face paling as she read the divorce papers. "What is this?" she asked, looking up at me. "I don't know," I replied flatly. "You tell me." Her voice shook as she asked, "Richard, these are divorce papers." "Why?" I raised an eyebrow. "Really? You don't know?" She swallowed hard. "Come on, you don't mean this." "Oh, I do," I said. "You wanted to replace me, right? Well, now's your chance. Pack your things and get out." She opened her mouth, but no words came out. I shrugged. By the way, I've already transferred all the money from our joint account. Figured I'd keep what's mine. Her eyes widened. You what? You heard me. I said, you can go stay with your new boyfriend now. She flinched. What? Who are you talking about? I smirked. Come on, Bridget. I know everything. I pulled out the photos of her with the other man and placed them on the table. Her eyes scanned the pictures, each one a sharper blow than the last. What is this? She gasped. Where did you get these? I hired a private investigator. I said coldly, letting the silence stretch out. I watched her eyes flicker with panic. Then she exploded. You put someone to follow me? You invaded my privacy? That's disgusting, Richard, she yelled. I laughed, a bitter, cold sound. Oh, I'm disgusting. That's Rich. She stood up, tears welling in her eyes. You're really doing this. I am, I said, crossing my arms. Now, are you to pack your stuff or do you need help? She stormed off, slamming the bedroom door behind her. I could hear her sobbing as she packed. But I didn't care. She made her choice. The divorce went smoothly for me. Bridget tried to fight it. She whined. She cried. She begged. Then she got angry, demanding half of everything. But the moment my lawyer presented the proof of her infidelity, her case collapsed. She got nothing. No money, no house, no alimony, nothing. In the courtroom, she screamed at me. You can't do this to me, Richard. I already did, I replied with a smile. Eventually, she moved in with Mike, but I didn't care. For the first time in years, I felt free. No more arguments. No more watching my wife slip away. No more being made to feel like I wasn't good enough. I focused on myself, hit the gym, went out with friends, took a few trips, even started dating again. Bridget became nothing more than a bad memory. One evening, a few months later, my phone buzzed with a message from her. Hey, can we talk? She wrote. I stared at the screen, my fingers hovering over the device. Then I set it down without responding. An hour later, another message popped up. Please, Richard, just give me 5 minutes. Still, I didn't respond. The next night, I was at home watching TV when a knock at the door interrupted the quiet. I got up and opened it. There she was, Bridget. She looked terrible. Her hair was a mess, dark circles under her eyes. Her makeup smudged. She wasn't the confident, smug woman who had laughed in my face a month ago. She looked defeated. Richard, please, she said softly, her voice shaking. I made a mistake. I leaned against the doorframe. Oh, you think? Her eyes welled with tears. Mike, he wasn't who I thought he was. We broke up. I smirked. Wow, shocking. She swallowed hard. I don't have anywhere to go. I let out a low whistle. So what? You thought you'd just come back here? Back to me? She sniffled. Can we just talk? She reached for my arm, but I stepped back. Talk about what? About how you threw away our marriage for some loser. How you laughed at me behind my back. I was stupid, she whispered. I thought the grass was greener, but it wasn't. I miss you. I miss us. I shook my head. There is no us anymore. She wiped her eyes. Richard, please. I regret everything. I sighed. Yeah, well, I don't. And with that, I shut the door in her face. I heard her sobbing outside for a while, but I didn't care. She made her choice, and I made mine. I never looked back.